Alright, so new heater core is leaking. I'm gonna pull this guy off. We can see the heater core. Let's see what's going on. So it's kind of hard to tell. There's some in this back corner. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's some leak residue, but I don't know if that's just leftover from when I was washing it. And then on top, see that green spot in the left side? I don't know if that's part of it or what, but it definitely wasn't green when I picked this radiator core up, so, or heater core. So I'm gonna put the pressure tester adapter on it and then see what happens. All right, so I have my pressure tester hooked up to the radiator. I put about 16 pounds in it. Heater's got to be open, so I had it open earlier. It's honestly inconclusive. There's obviously coolant in this thing, and then you can see up there where coolant's coming out of that seam. But if you look inside where the heater core is, it's like dry in there. But the problem is the heater core is the only thing that could be leaking coolant. So regardless, as much as I hate to, this guy's gotta come back out and I gotta take a look. And then I'm gonna drive the truck home again tonight. Late night wagon again. Cool, heater core's back out. I tried pressure testing this thing with compressed air and then some windshield washer fluid, but I think the better way is actually to dunk this thing in water and pressurize it. So here's the climate control box. I noticed coolant dripping on the passenger side floor again, and when you looked inside the climate control box, there was like a little puddle of coolant. I was losing some coolant in the overflow, so I was like, damn it. So tomorrow I'll go back to the radiator shop that I took this to. Hopefully we'll get this guy repaired. In the meantime, some new changes for the wagon. I got some shackles for this guy. So we're gonna try to go rally car spec. Got some new parts. Got some NorCal horns and a new fuel pump. So I'm getting a new fuel pump. So I'm gonna install the new fuel pump in preparation for getting the side drafts on here. Spoiler alert. If you don't know that already, check out the Side Draft Specialties episode of the Autohaus podcast. It ended up working out because if you look closely, that fuel pump is actually sealed up with RTV, which don't ever do that. It comes with gaskets. RTV will break down with gasoline. So Side Draft Specialties said that this Spectra pump specs should be good enough for the side drafts. So we'll get this guy installed. Because we're going rally car spec, I might put the NorCal horns behind the grill like this, and you can kind of see it won't really block the radiator if I scoot these guys over, and then you can still see them from the grill. And then I'm still working on getting some driving lights mounted up to this guy, and maybe a roof rack, who knows. Alright, got the old fuel pump off. You can tell it's a US fuel pump because it's got this extra fitting on it. And then there's my lunch or dinner. There's a spacer that goes here, and I just about shit my pants earlier because, yeah, right there, there's a flange for the fuel pump, and when I tried to break it off, there's a spacer for the fuel pump, and because of all this residue, it looked like it was part of the block. So when I tried to knock the spacer off, it broke off, and I was like, oh shit. But it's actually this like plastic composite material. So I would just say anytime you're replacing the fuel pump, just get a new fuel pump spacer. They're readily available because through my parts account I was able to get one next day. So I guess these things are readily available, so new one every time. But yeah, it looks like that means I'm done for the night. Fuel pump's not going on today, so. Alright, it's been a long time since I filmed anything, but show you guys why. It's been busy here at the Autohaus. There's at least 2 or 3 different cars worth of stuff on the bench. Corolla restoration. MRS here for R&D. Transmissions here, and we're building a S13 gearbox for a time attack car. But yeah, let's go see the wagon. Alright, so special shout out to Mr. Julio, one of our YouTube viewers. Told me he had all the AC stuff for this car, so got that from him. So thanks again, Julio. We'll get this stuff on the car at some point, but we gotta get this thing running so I can drive this thing again. So if you guys remember from last time, I was getting drips on the floor from this area, and you can kind of see, man, I don't know if that's old or new residue, but since I put this box together, but initially I thought it was this guy leaking, and when I took it out you could see the discoloration, but maybe that's just normal. I brought it back to the radiator shop, and the shop owner pressure tested this guy for me in front of me, and yeah, sure enough, it's not this guy that was leaking. One thing he suggested that's probably probable is if you don't tighten these heater hoses well enough, it could be pressurized and like spraying back into the cabin, which is definitely possible because like knowing me, I probably went light on these just because I'm used to like old 80s stuff where like you crank on the clamp too hard and then all of a sudden these things squish down. So that's definitely possible. So I think I want to get these back into the car first and get the car driving before I put in all the AC stuff, just because I'm tired of putting gas money in the truck, or literally burning away gas money in the truck. So I want to get the wagon going again. I really miss driving that thing regardless, but yeah, we'll get this stuff hopefully in by today. It's Sunday and the sun's probably gonna go down soon, so yeah, try my best. Alright, got the climate box back in. I almost forgot. I was gonna bleed the cooling system while I get the rest of the stuff in. I forgot I still have a fuel pump to put in this guy. So last time, if you guys remember, I broke this. This is like a composite plastic. If you're gonna replace the fuel pump, I would make sure just replace this guy. This fuel pump comes with 2 gaskets, one on each side for this guy. When I was putting these heater hoses on again, I noticed that the top hose was like a hair fatter than the OD of the heater line. So it is possible that pressurized coolant can get in the cabin that way. or you know, even through the other line this way. I did a pressure test on the cooling system the first time I saw it leak inside the cabin, and I didn't see anything, but I also did it with the engine cold. I've had weird stuff before where like the engine needs to be at like operating temp for whatever to have the external coolant leak. So one trick I wanted to show you guys, stuff like this where you have the open worm gear clamp. You know, if you crank down too hard, it'll bite into the hose and you'll see the hose get damaged. So a trick I like to do, if you only have those type of worm gear clamps, I'll wrap one layer of electrical tape around it, so then when you clamp on this guy, it'll scrunch up on the electrical tape and not actually eat into the hose. So you get compression on the hose without damaging it. Or you could just buy the right clamps. Looks like I'm going to be fighting the daylight in just about a second, but pretty sure I got all the engine based stuff done for now. Both of the heater hose clamps, the fuel pumps on, there's a in, out to carburetor, and then a return line. So got a brand new return line on there. You can see how the old one's beat up, and that was going to be a failure. And then the other thing I changed was this coolant hose right here. Every time I replace a coolant hose, something else becomes the weakest link and ends up leaking. I don't know if I recorded, but this S hose failed last time on my way to work. So I think all the rubber coolant hoses in the engine bay have been changed now with the addition of this guy. And you can see the rust. This guy, peace of mind, I'm glad I changed him. So yeah, fighting daylight. I'll get the cooling system bled and then put all this stuff back together. Hopefully we can go road test this thing tonight. Alright, just got back from the road test. So far it's alright. Heater works. Again, there's no obvious visual leaks right now. Hopefully it stays that way. One thing that does concern me is that after the car cools down and then the coolant overflow will get halfway just now after I bled it, which is a little bit concerning, but maybe that's just how it is. But I'll keep monitoring the car, and I gotta take my Corolla home tonight, but should be able to daily drive the wagon again pretty soon. So thank you again, Julio, for all the AC parts. We're gonna definitely get the AC working in the wagon at some point. And then thank you guys for watching. Please let me know what you would like me to do with the wagon. Any comments, I'll probably do it, maybe, depending on the severity. But yeah, thanks again. Remember to like and subscribe, leave a comment, check out some merch, consider being a Patreon, and yeah, thanks for watching.